I would like to honor and commemorate my sincere, heartfelt thanks to those who plant the seed. In my case, my junior year English literature teacher at Creighton Prep in 1965, Mr. Tom Hall, who introduced me to the world of Black literature and the arts. In 2017, Mr. Jim Nelson, who both challenged me and introduced me to the video medium. I dedicate my works to you both. God bless you and your families. What's your story? There are reasons that each of us are born. Our quest to discover those reasons. There are two greatest days in our lives. The first, the day we are born. The second, the day we discover why. Sometimes a man, mature, attentive, never ending, finds his destiny on a road he chooses not to walk upon. How far will a belief system go for complete dominion? This program is brought to you by these fine community partners. They are my life's blood. Sawadi Kap. Good evening, and thank you for taking the time to view my program, Shut Up and Dance. Tonight, under my new horizons, I have a gentleman that I want to introduce to you. His name is Chris Craddock. Chris is my executive producer of my TV program and also works here at KAPO, Cox Channel 22. Chris, good evening, and how are you doing this evening?
Excellent, Frank. Thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you, sir. Could you give my audience a brief background of what your duties are here at KAPO?
My duties are basically mainly scheduling. I do a lot of the scheduling, kind of help out with programs and kind of train individuals how to produce their own programs, and whatever Mike says.
Whatever Mike says, okay.
I also do the governmental programming. I don't do it, I record City Council meeting, Douglas County Board, and the Mayor's Commission for Citizens with Disabilities meetings.
Okay. Are those annual or weekly meetings, or how are those?
Exactly. City Council is a weekly meeting. Douglas County Board is a weekly meeting also. They're both on Tuesdays. And then it's a monthly meeting for the Mayor's Commission for Citizens with Disabilities. And I forgot one also, the Planning Board. So
Planning Board, okay.
I also record them, and they're another weekly meeting usually on Wednesdays, the first Wednesday of the month.
Okay, my next question would be, as you were growing up, what kinds of things that you envisioned that you wanted to get involved in?
I when I was real little, I think I wanted to first like be like a military person or a police officer. And then I guess when I got like into probably kindergarten or so, I can recall my father bringing home a little slide projector and putting it on our bedroom wall, some cartoons. And
With the little Disney where you had the little wheel and you stuck it in, was it that kind of slide projector or?
What was it? I can't quite remember what it was. I was kind of young then. It seemed like it was something you can project on the walls and you can, you know, make it look animated, like, you know. And it was a cartoon. I recall it being a cartoon. And I was just like, wow, this is really cool. It kind of stuck with me, you know, something I wanted to get into. So that kind of got me wanting to get into television or video, basically.
Okay.
More like, it would be movies, actually, the way it was going. But then, I guess, a guy came to our church, and I was going to church, and he said, you know, there's public access out there, and you can have like 3 cameras, and you can make your own show and do all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, right. You know, I didn't believe it at all, you know. But eventually, I started getting into it with him, too. I started following him around, and he would get crews together and go up and record.
How old were you during this time?
At that time, I was probably in junior high school.
Okay.
So what would that make me, because I was...
What, 13, 14, 15, somewhere around in that area?
Right, yeah, probably about 12.
12,
about 12 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started hanging out with him. I was like, wow, this is really fun and kind of unbelievable.
And he just gradually just turned you on to more and more avenues or?
Exactly. He started saying stuff. He would, you know, like say, hey, you know, you can get like music videos and, you know, PSAs and stuff, and you can put that stuff in your program. You know, I was like, what, really? So I started trying to do it. You know, I started like calling and talking to people. Hey, you know, can you send me some, you know, well, with the music video thing, I actually just started taking it off of TV at first. I was taking it off of BET, VH1, and was just taking them from the music video channels that were out there.
And then making your own?
And then doing my own, yeah, we were doing our own thing. And then I went ahead and then I started trying to contact the labels and stuff, and they were like, yeah, sure, we'll send you stuff. You know, it's kind of like radio promotion, so like video promotion. And that was kind of like pretty unbelievable for me, too. It was a little, you know, I was a little apprehensive, kind of scared at first. I was like, man, I'm calling these people out there. What are they going to say? What are they going to do? I've never done this before, you know. But when I stepped out and tried it, it was, you know, wow, I couldn't believe it. They send you a little form. You got to fill out the forms. You got to do the paperwork. And that's what they were really, really concerned about, getting what's called a reporting, getting a list, getting something that we played in regards to what are you using? They're trying to track it because, of course, they're getting something off of it. We weren't getting anything off it, but just the fun and joy of doing it.
Right.
You know?
Now, were you broadcasting this, or how were you utilizing this, just for the creativity of it, or exactly what now?
It was for actually the public access channel. I was just playing the, you know, we had so my brother, I got my brother involved, some of my friends on the block, and they would be talking, and then we would go to the videos and stuff like that. And my wife got involved in it, and I was just doing it for, man, I've been doing it for quite a while, since the 80s, I think it was, 84, I guess is when I really got into it in 84.
Now, are you from this area, or where are you born and raised from?
Born and raised in Omaha, yes sir, Omaha, Nebraska.
What kind of school? What school did you go to?
I went to Benson High School.
You went to Benson.
Went to Benson.
You are the first young man of color that I know who actually went to Benson High School. Because, you know, in my day, I graduated from Creighton Prep in 1966. Benson was an all-white high school, and no one ever thought that a young man of color would ever attend that school during my tenure in Omaha. Like, I left Omaha basically 1967, 1968, when I went entered in the service, and came back years. So I was quite shocked when I picked up the newspaper and I came back while my father took ill in 2006. And I picked up the newspaper, and the first thing that blurts out is that there's a brother playing for Westside High School, and Benson is all black. And I'm like, what the heck is this?
The time has changed, man.
Yes, Omaha does change. I mean, it was really, really amazing. So.
I'm a Mighty Bunny, man, all right?
All right, because
Mighty, don't forget that part, okay?
I won't forget that part because as I was going to prep, one of the unique things were the rivalries between the high schools. And what brought this to a head? Prep had its mascot, a blue jay that sat out on a cement platform. Benson had the bunny, which sat out on a cement platform. So some gentlemen from Benson decided to steal the blue jay from Prep, and some gentlemen from Prep decided to retaliate by stealing stealing the mascot from Benson. So we each painted the mascot in our school colors. So the Benson bunny no longer was white and green anymore. It was blue and white, and the blue jay was no longer blue and white, but white and green. And that started a chain reaction. Both schools got involved very quickly.
Exactly.
And then said, stop. This is not going to happen anymore. But that was one of the fun times of growing up in Omaha, and then to find out that you're at Benson Bunny. So what year did you graduate?
I graduated 82.
82?
82, yep.
And so from there, where did you were still involved doing?
I was still involved. There was a youth group that I started helping out, Edmondson Youth Outreach. I used to wrestle also, and I wasn't a very good wrestler. So
Neither was I. I was on the first wrestling team at Prep, and in fact, I think I still hold the state record for the quickest pin in the history.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, man. Look at
18 seconds.
Wow,
But I was, when I was a wrestler at Prep, I was 99 to 110. And so the gentleman who weighed in, who was at the 120 class, he couldn't make weight, so I was a fill-in, and I went out there, and the guy made quick meat of me. Boom, it's all over and whatnot.
Oh, wow.
So where did you continue on so far as your education is concerned?
I did do some college, but didn't graduate. But I did do some college. I went to UNO, got into the television class. At that time, I was working for Cox also. And
so how long have you been affiliated with Cox? Quite some time, or?
I worked for Cox for about 28 years. About 28 years. About 28 years.
So
Yep.
you've been with Cox basically since the beginning, kind of, sort of? Is that how you're related?
It was probably 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5 years. They were here before I got into them. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that might have been about right. And I got started with them through what's called SEDA. It was a private sector program.
Yes,
also.
I remember when
Remember
SEDA
that?
started here in Omaha.
Yeah,
All right.
It was awesome. They were changing up in the midst, and the guy that I was wrestling for, he also was part of that private sector program, and he was like wanting me to come and work for him. And I was like, no, this dude's gonna work me to death, man. No, I'm not. But private sector says you can go out and find somebody who will pay part of your salary, and they pay the other half. So I started with him. I went to Channel 7, and then I went to Cox, and while we were still doing things with Cox, I knew this guy who was working in public access. He was going to be leaving, and so I said, hey, I can take that over. You don't even have to train me because I've been down there. I know all this stuff. I'll be an easy guy to take part in that. So I just kept knocking on the door, and they picked me up. And so I started there under that private sector program. They kept me after that also. So that was really.
Oh, wow, that is so cool.
Yeah.
That is one thing I wanted to point out to the audience. There are so many different ways that you can become involved, and this is a clear example of people taking advantage of programs that are out there and available. And one of the things that I wanted to present to you, my audience, is the various ways that you can get involved. Because from my standpoint, Omaha is a can-do city. And if there's anything that you want to do, believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it is here. All you have to do is to know where to go and what number to dial. And part of my direction with regard to this year, I'm focusing on the media and all of the various things that you can do in the media, because it's a creative point.
Exactly.
It's a creative spot that, to me, is unlimited.
True. 'Cause
There are so many various things that you can do. As each day comes, there's something new that evolves. And
yeah, the opportunities are there, and that's, like you said, the opportunity was there for me. I was not believing it going through it, and I would just tell everybody. I would just kind of, it's like the library, man. You can produce your own program. You can have your own show,
I remember
so
the first
huge.
day that I came in here and I spoke with you, and I'll tell you, that was, Jim
Yeah.
challenged me right from the very moment we started talking. He just, there was something that he saw, and he challenged me, and I've been here ever since, and I'm going into my third season and whatnot, and that's, I have to give back, and part of my giving back is to let you know, audience, that my dad told me a long time ago. He said, "Son, you can do anything that you want to do. The problem is you have to break it down and then take it day by day. And if you work hard, what the mind can conceive, you can achieve." My next question to you, was there a moment while you were growing up, when you were thinking, when you were getting involved in this industry, that you knew that this was your niche? Did you ever experience a moment like that?
Oh, yeah, I still kind of experience those moments, man.
Okay,
You
okay.
feel like, wow, I mean, this is what God wants me to do. This is my purpose, man. This is it's my calling. This is when things actually come together, or when they're not even. You start, and I love this so much, I don't really care about the negativity that's coming at me. It's like, I'm just going to keep doing.
From the critical
No.
standpoint, then, how do you ascertain and take criticism? Are you a thick-skinned, or can you be thin-skinned and try to succeed in this? Just to give people a basis, because sometimes, my thought is that whether you're thick-skinned or thin-skinned, if you have that balance, that logic about you, there's no environment that you cannot succeed in. Is that?
You're talking about in the industry, in the business?
In the business and industry, because as you just said, you don't really worry about you're on
Right.
you're on your wheel and you're rolling and you're going about doing your business.
Well, I think in the business, if you're in it, I want to say it doesn't really matter, because as long as you're getting some feedback, even if it's good or bad, it's like, oh, they're watching me. I'm on.
Exactly.
And then it's how you want to say, okay, maybe I can adjust this. Oh, no, they're just kind of messing with me. Or, I understand what they're saying. I understand where they're coming from. Do I, what do I do next? Try to work to win them over, or do I just let them do what they're going to do? Or how do I adjust to it becomes the challenge of it, or if that is the case,
Okay.
if it's something that I really want to ponder on or sit on. But I think being in front, and you're going to be seen, and you're going to get negative and positive. But to me, I tell you, you try to recommend people. Well, that means they're watching, even though you might not like what they're saying, or if what they're saying doesn't make a little sense. Maybe you do need to make this little adjustment. Maybe you do need to look at what they're saying and apply it to your program, or your or on. I don't know, but
Okay. Now, what do you have? Do you have a vision for yourself for the future? Things you like to do, or places you have to go? I mean, can you in general? I mean, I don't want to
oh no,
limit you or whatnot, or put you in
Right now, I'm like really excited about the streaming thing, the live thing. I did a little streaming with my church. They were taping the church I used to go to, not the church I go to now. We stream every Sunday at the church I go to now, though. But
Okay.
when I got into it, it was an event that they had, and it was really fun. I mean, I just set it up, and I felt the liveness of it was different than the recording aspect. I was directing it. I was in charge, so and it was something really different and out there, and I did enjoy that, and I like that, and I do like that. Even if it's with one camera, kind of streaming. I like the streaming. I like to build that a little bit. I like to work on that. I do have a production company. Media Power Productions. Remember my company, Media Power Productions. So on the side, I do some of that also.
And what does Media Power Productions do?
We
Tell the audience about that.
Well, basically, we are in radio, so we help the low power radio station and trying to do my own little thing, which is streaming and producing programs. Basically, those music video programs and all those other programs. Just trying to put stuff together.
Do you see yourself going into movies and things like that, or would you have aspirations for that, or are you just wide open to anything that just comes up?
Yeah. I feel like I'm just kind of going with when I'm really not. I want to say set hardcore. I truly just feel like I'm just kind of going with whatever's going on right now, and I do enjoy
being in
that.
position to where you can flow whatever direction and whatnot.
Exactly. I think I'm still learning. There's stuff that has to get done before I can say this is what I really want to do and this is where I really want to go. I think I'm still kind of just going along, if you will.
Okay. All right.
And
all right.
That's where I'm at. I'm trying to define it. I am trying to find it and get solid with it, and it's all about, it becomes the cash thing next.
Yes,
It's
yes.
Make a lot of money to do, to own my own, to build my own, is where I want to go. It's where I want to be. So it's a matter of watching and
You're
learning.
looking towards that network plume, maybe someday?
Exactly.
I hear you. I feel you.
I think my people skills need to increase a little bit more. I think I got some issues with that I'm going to work on.
Okay. Now, with regard to all of that, what advice would you give someone who has an excitement about this particular industry and wants to get started? How would you instruct them to go about to seek on getting some knowledge? Because given the educational standpoint these days, from when I was coming up, it was like 0 to now it's like 1,000%. I mean, you can start in middle school, really, if you know the right phone numbers or know the right organizations to get in touch with, and that's not limiting the number of opportunities. I mean, right here at this channel is a perfect example of independence and the knowledge, and all you have to do is want to do it.
Exactly, right? I mean, that's a great, you kind of said it actually right here, is a great start, but outside of that, I mean, there is, you have YouTubes, there's so many, like you said. You can go online and go to college, cyber college. There's a college out there that'll take you through the television courses, and I think just stepping into it and seeing if you want to do it, because when I was doing public access with Cox, there were people who didn't even know, and I was like, at least you tried it, when they didn't decide they wanted to do it anymore. That, man, this is more work than I thought, but at least you learned that now, and you can move on to your next thing, So I'm saying whatever it is you want to do in life, I think at least try it.
Give it a shot.
Give it a shot. Start somewhere with it, even if it's really small, and get with some people and talk to some people, and that'll help you kind of, get through the water.
The thing that gets me is not to pull this tab, but from an educational standpoint, there's Metropolitan Community College, and they offer so many different classes, whether it be credit or non-credit
Credit,
or what
right.
have you,
Excellent.
which can open some doors to you. I mean, that was not available.
Exactly, yes, sir. No.
You know, and by the time that you were coming out, Metro had finally, because when I first went to college was when Metropolitan Community College was established here in Omaha, and there was a big jealousy thing between a community college and a four-year institution, but now you look at it and they are togetherness.
Right, yes, sir, yeah.
It is just beautiful and whatnot. So, Chris, I want to thank you for taking the time, coming on my program and whatnot. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris. This is my program, Shut Up and Dance. Sawatika. How have we come to believe? Nebraska, we are more than agriculture. Nebraska, we are more than beef. Nebraska, we are more than football. Nebraska, the good life. Come, read us. And I want to thank each and every one of you for viewing my program, and most importantly and especially, my sponsors, who are my life's blood.